Welcome, it's Denome. This is a market update because there's a lot of things that just happened over the weekend. And obviously for Bitcoin and Ethereum, the biggest one is Hong Kong has actually now approved Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. So if you take a look at these are sources from China, which apparently seem to approve that they have approved the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs in Hong Kong. So I'm waiting for more news on this. So this is a very good thing for Bitcoin and crypto, obviously, because in China you can buy Bitcoin, you can buy crypto, but it's not exactly considered legal. It's not exactly considered illegal either, but this creates a lot of legal clarity as now that these have been approved and people can and companies can buy Bitcoin legally within China and Hong Kong. So this is very, very good news for Bitcoin. But then the other bad news is obviously we had the Iran airstrike against Israel, and there's a lot of nuance there, and I just want to take this time to actually talk about this because I think this affects everybody a lot. So from my point of view, when I was looking at the airstrike, it seemed to me when I pieced these things together that Iran actually projected the strike 5 hours in advance, basically allowed time for Israel to prepare their Iron Dome defenses, to evacuate people, to warn people, as well as it gave enough time for USA and UK to fly the fighter jets to Jordan to intercept the missiles. As well, Iran purposefully did not actually overload the Israel air defense system, and the drones and missiles that were used in this attack were slower third and second grade missiles and drones. They're slower, they make more sound, and they are cheaper as well. But still, they were able to knock out some air defense systems, as well as they were able to hit targets. For example, at least one airbase got hit, which was actually said to hold one of the most developed stealth fighters in Israel. So these were military targets, and Iran did not actually target civilians, which is quite important, as well as the air defense system cost Israel about $1 billion or more, while the attack itself was probably around 100 millions, so 10 times cheaper to attack than to actually defend that kind of attack. So during and after the strike, Iran was very clear that this attack is now over and they will not continue the attack unless Israel retaliates or does something again. So all this strike was actually a response for the airstrike that Israel conducted against Iran's consulate in Syria, which is internationally considered a diplomatic safe space. So you are not supposed to allowed to attack consulates or embassies. So that's what was attacked in Syria by Israel, and this was retaliation against that. But to emphasize, Iran did not actually use their grade 1 weapons. So Iran only used second and third tier weapon systems in this attack, and after the attack each party was talking about diplomatic solutions excluding Israel. And this is important. I will come back to this because Israel actually wants to retaliate. I will show you soon. But what basically this demonstration means is that Iran basically can attack any target they want within Israel, even though they have the Iron Dome defense system. Even with just the third and second tier weapon systems, Iran was basically able to hit the targets that they wanted. And they wanted to basically demonstrate the power that they have. And Iran also demonstrated that it basically wants peace, but it will hit harder again if being pushed by Israel for another strike. So Iran basically doesn't want to be bullied. And again, some people were debating me like, what do you mean Iran wants peace? You are delusional, you know. And to that I just answer, well, yes, their version of peace. So peace for them basically means that they will still continue sabotage missions, They will probably fund terrorism of some sort, and they will do shadow missions as well. But this is nothing new. Israel does the exact same things. Israel conducts terrorism, in my opinion, if they are attacking a consulate, as well as USA is very notorious to actually topple governments and supporting terrorism as well. For example, ISIS back in the 80s was actually funded by United States, and this is actually confirmed in a funny interview by Hillary Clinton, where she said that they actually gave money to ISIS to attack Soviet Union on that time. So it's like an enemy of my enemy is my friend type of situation. So terrorism is only terrorism if it's basically hurting you, but if it's aiding you, then it's not terrorism anymore. Whatever, that is the situation there, but that's basically the kind of peace that Iran wants. Shadow war, covert options, covert missions, some form of terrorism, but not open war. That's basically what I mean by peace in this sense here. And Iran still has tricks up their sleeve. They didn't use their hypersonic missiles. They didn't use their tier 1 weapon systems, which as of now, Israel and USA probably don't even know all of the capabilities that Iran has. But this basically demonstration shows the lines that Iran is now placing on its security. But obviously, there's option 1, which is that okay, Israel takes the strike. Basically, nobody was killed except there was a girl that got hit by shrapnel from one of the missiles that was taken down, and she was in critical condition. I don't know if she recovered or she died, but that was that was not an intended casualty, so to say. So from this situation, this could lead to de-escalation, but then Israel actually decided to escalate it further. So Israel here is describing what I just announced or told you, that was basically a demonstration of power to draw the lines, like you can push me around, but this is the line. This is the red line here. Iran is saying that this is actually a declaration of war, and Israel wants to label Iran as a terrorist organization through the UN, and they have actually already approved offensive and defensive actions against Iran. So here US is currently saying that they will not support any retaliation by Israel. But this is actually a non-statement also, because when you break it down that they don't support a retaliation from Israel's side, what does it actually mean? Because at the same time, Biden is saying that their support for Israel's security is ironclad, and they will support Israel 100% to the end, basically. So maybe they will not physically support Israel in a direct attack, but they will still support it financially. They will still give it defensive powers. They will do all of these things. But if Israel decides to strike, they will basically not be directly helping Israel in that sense. That's basically what I'm understanding it. But then you can read it as basically saying like, Israel, do not escalate this situation any further, or we will take down all support we have for you. So it's basically a non-statement. It doesn't really mean anything. It's like a general statement. So I don't think this means anything here, other than like they said that they will keep supporting Israel in its defensive systems. So that's there. And then we can actually take a listen to this general here. This is from Israel Defense Forces.
Iran,
And when we
now,
listen to the end, you can actually hear his words basically saying that they vow attacks against Iran.
she worked through her proxies, but now she revealed, trying to escalate the region herself. Over the last few hours, we approved operational plans for both offensive and defensive action.
there you go. So offensive and defensive action. So Israel is basically saying here that they will retaliate against Iran. So when we take all of these things together, what I'm basically expecting is a red Monday for the markets, overall stock markets, because what this basically means is energy supplies are in risk. And if you know anything about the energy supplies in United States, you know that they have actually been burning through the reserves to keep oil prices relatively low within the United States. I know the prices aren't low, but they have been using reserves because Biden actually paused oil drilling within the United States after Trump had approved it, which kept the oil prices lower, but then Biden stopped it, which has caused the oil prices to rise in the United States as well, or it's one of the factors. But all in all, as energy prices go higher, people are probably not as keen to gamble with altcoins, and they don't have as much, let's say, spare money to actually put into altcoins. So I'm expecting people to actually panic a little bit from this, because it could lead to that, let's say, open World War III, not the kind of World War III that I was talking about in my previous video, but this is not an environment where altcoins typically do well, or at least that's my thinking as of now. But because we got this ETF approved for Bitcoin and Ethereum, I think the price plummeting of altcoins may actually be somewhat not as big as it otherwise would have been. So for me, I'm basically sidelined for now, even though we got this news. I'm basically sidelined because I want to see what happens on Monday. I want to see how the markets react and what's going to happen next. From Israel's side, I'm basically expecting them to retaliate, let's say, within 2 to 4 weeks from now. And before then, my basically expectation right now is we see a red Monday, maybe a continuation on Tuesday. But by Thursday, there's going to be probably an aid package announced by the White House, and investors start to think that, okay, this is back to normal and back to business as usual. So markets will rally at the end of the week again. That's kind of my case right now, but my thinking may change over the week. So I'm just heavily focusing on what's happening, and I'm giving updates on the Discord, obviously. So you can join this channel here if you want to read through my updates as they happen. But that's basically it. So I'm sidelined for now, looking for re-entry. Not sure when or how exactly, which altcoins I buy, or which Bitcoin or Ethereum. My base stash of Bitcoin I haven't touched, but altcoins I basically sold most of them for now. So I'm kind of sidelined for now. I know I took some losses over the weekend, but it is what it is. I rather safeguard my capital from further losses than actually suffer huge losses at this point in time. So I'm looking to re-enter, and that's basically my stance as of now. Thanks for watching. If you have questions, put them in the comments or join the Discord. I'm happy to talk about these things, because when we talk about it, it helps me understand it better, it helps you understand it better, and that's all good. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.